Welcome, Jocelyn Variety Show fans. This is Interview Friday. My name is Jack Newby. I'm Executive Director of the Jocelyn Center. Welcome. And I hope you're all ready for a great weekend and a happy Easter or whatever you celebrate this weekend. Just have a relaxing weekend. Before we start, we're going to be interviewing Suzanne Spencer, who is our Director of Programs and Outreach for our Wellness Center. Before we start, I just want to update you on a few things. We do have some new classes that we're signing up for the month of April, art classes, our chair yoga classes. So be sure to check on our calendar or contact Melanie Lyons, our program director, to get registered for those classes. Also with our Wellness Center, we have our Aging Mastery classes enrolling, the very popular Brain Boot Camp. There are waiting lists for that, so you want to get on that right away so you can take the earliest class. And then one that we're going to be talking about, A Matter of Balance, which is a falls prevention program, and that's going to be starting on April 20th, sorry, couldn't read my note. So let's get started. We'll talk with Suzanne Spencer and welcome her. And I think this is the first time many of you have been able to meet her unless you've been in one of our classes. So welcome, Suzanne. How are you?
Hi, good morning. Thank you. Doing well.
I've been thinking a lot about our falls prevention program and exercise programs and that sort of thing. And we're beginning to get more active as I think Riverside County will soon be entering into the orange tier and people are becoming more active. But we also have to reflect on the fact that seniors especially have been more isolated. They haven't been exercising to the extent that they have. And that really impacts their strength. And so there's a higher likelihood that people could fall after this much inactivity.
Absolutely. Absolutely, Jack. I know even just with myself, getting up every morning, I feel stiffer. I feel just because of the less amount of activity that I've been engaging in. It's not good for our structures. It's not good for our minds. It's not good for our bodies. And, with A Matter of Balance being, one of the more premier evidence-based falls prevention programming that we have here in the desert, what I really want to focus on is the main focus that we've always had over the last 5 years that Matter of Balance has been in the Valley, and that's trying to curb isolation. Because curbing isolation, getting people out of their homes and meeting with other people of like minds, whether it be on a Zoom call, which is the way that we're doing a lot of our programming now, even though they may be in their home, but they're speaking to somebody else in a program. But also it'll get the mind going and it'll remind us of what we need to do or not do when we get back out into our environment here in the Valley, not because of weather-related things, but just because we haven't been out and about a year.
Well, I think so many people, particularly older people, think, well, if I stay at home and I'm not going out very much, then I'm protecting myself from a fall. And let's face it, a fall can be, one of the most devastating things that could happen to a person if they're injured.
Yes, exactly. And that's one of those pesky little myths that we always reflect upon with falls prevention, is that staying at home is not going to keep you safer. Staying inactive is not going to keep you safer. In fact, it's going to tighten up your physical body and your mental aspect, and you may be more at risk for falling, for at the very least not feeling as confident as you may feel being out in the environment again. And, you know, falls prevention is a twofold process. It's not only a physical dynamic in terms of trying to stay upright, you know, rather than, you know, on the ground, but it's also very cognitive, Jack. I know with our clients over the years, what we've attempted to do, and we've done quite successfully, graduating over 1,500 participants over a 5-year period a few years ago. What we did was we were able to switch their thinking of that they had concerns about falling, which concerns really does equate to some sort of fear, a level of fear, which then may have inhibited them from leaving their home, doing more things, being more active, things of that nature. So our role with the matter of balance is really trying to change those negative thoughts that people are having into more positive thoughts, being more assertive, doing more things, feeling like you're not alone out there, and that there's people that can guide and help you through a time that we've gone through already that has been probably the most difficult time that any of us have ever experienced in our lifetime. Well, go ahead, Jack.
Well, tell me a little bit. You know, we're talking about a matter of balance. You've been involved in that program for some time, and you are what is called a master trainer. Tell us a little bit about the training that you underwent to be able to do this class.
So a master trainer, I got certified through the organization that houses Matter of Balance, and it's located in Portland, Maine, and it's called the Maine Health Organization. And I was trained, as well as 2 other people in the Valley, to be a master trainer. And my role is to oversee the entire program. I'm able to train coaches who then can turn around and instruct the course with me, because it's always nice to have a little co-instructor by your side. I also do a lot of additional training with the coaches to keep them abreast of the things that are changing with the program. But basically overseeing the entire program, and I'm able to instruct people by myself, but again, I would like to do it with other coaches. So my role right now is just to get some coaches trained and get going with our volunteer program as we've had in the past, and get the word out across the Coachella Valley that, guess what, a Matter of Balance is back. And Jocelyn Center is going to be taking the lead in that, as well as I'm sure some other people across the valley, but we're getting going right now.
Well, tell us a little bit about the class. It's, you know, how many sessions, what's involved in it? Is it exercise or what's involved in the class?
Sure. So right off the bat, this is not an exercise class. A lot of people think, oh, well, I have problems with my balance and I need to exercise to get stronger. The answer is yes, but this class has about a 20% portion of it that includes exercise. The remaining 80% is an educational process, and the sessions go along the lines of identifying why I wanted to take the class in the first place, identifying those concerns that I may have. I may have fallen in the past, or I just may be a little unsettled because my neighbor, who's 85, fell the other day, and I'm going to be 85 tomorrow, so that means I'm going to be falling. That's one of the things that I've noticed with our clients is they believe that growing older is a recipe for falling, and it's not. And so again, we try to work with the cognitive piece of that, switching negative thoughts to positive thoughts. We have a portion of home safety as part of the program. We talk about medication management, because a lot of the reasons that older adults fall is due to contraindications with medications. And then, as I mentioned, the home safety. One of my trick questions is, where do most falls occur? And the answer is in your own home. And so we have a whole session on home safety. We have a healthcare professional that comes in that gives us some tricks of the trade in terms of if we've fallen, what is a safe way to get up from that fall, barring unconsciousness or a head trauma. So that's of great help. There's a whole session on assertiveness, again, going back to the cognitive piece. And then every day we do a little bit of exercise, just seated in the chair. And these exercises are along the lines of just stretching out your body and doing things to make yourself more flexible, even when it comes down to your fingers. We want to have strong wrists and strong fingers, because what happens when we fall, Jack? What's the autonomic response? We put our hands down, right? I'd much rather have a broken finger than a head injury in terms of my falling. And so, we touch upon all these little things over the 8 sessions. And I really have seen lives change. I've seen lives been saved. We work very closely with Desert Oasis Healthcare, who, is one of the major medical providers here in the Valley. And, it's all about prevention. If we can get people to understand, and it's not just older adults, Jack. I mean, it's anybody of a more mature age, shall I say, that falling's that it doesn't have to be normal. It doesn't have to be a part of aging. It's incredibly preventable. And, we talk about nutrition and hydration and dizziness, especially living here in the desert. Even during the winter, we need to drink a lot of water because we live in a very dry environment. And when you're dehydrated, you get dizzy. And when you get dizzy, what happens? You typically lose your balance.
So I think sometimes, we're always in a hurry. We want to take a shortcut. And, some of my understanding about the class is that it teaches you to pay attention where you're at and your environment and what's around you. Because so many people, I know here at the Joslin Center, when I've seen people fall, it's because they want to take a 5-second shortcut through one of the planting areas, or, people falling in parking lots because they forget about the bumpers for cars, for car tires, right. Or just miss, a hole or pothole in the parking lot. So really paying more attention to your environment and your surroundings.
Yeah, my colleagues and I call that situational awareness. And, it's being aware of your environment. And I think one of the biggest things that you just touched upon, Jack, is to be aware of our environment. We have to not go at a snail's pace, but we can't be in such a bust of a hurry as we typically are in life. And, we talk about black ice and, snowy paths and rainy sidewalks and things like that. Well, we really don't have that here in the desert. But what do we have an awful lot of, Jack? Sand. And we have a lot of cut grass because we have a lot of golf courses and beautiful parks and whatnot. And we have sprinklers. So if you mix sprinkler water with cut grass, that's a little slippery environment. If we have sand blowing across the parking lot because of the winds that we have here, that's a tricky environment as well. So I try to instill within people that even though we don't live in snow and sleet and rain, we still have portions of our environment here in the desert that could potentially cause falls. And taking a 5-second shortcut is not worth it. A fall happens in a millisecond. You go from standing upright to on the ground in a millisecond, wondering what in the heck just happened.
Well, and the statistics, the statistics for people that fall, and particularly those that break their hip, are the medical consequences are very serious.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. It's sad.
So this class, A Matter of Balance, is enrolling now, and it's starting April 20th.
Yep. It's April 20th. And just for all of you at home listening to what we're speaking about, it will be virtual for right now. Jack is working with the Office on Aging to see what's happening in terms of opening up senior centers around the valley. But as of right now, it'll still be virtual. And we're adding a session. So in addition to the 8 2-hour sessions of instruction, we're going to have what's called a session 0. And that 2-hour session will be me working with the participants, getting them as comfortable as they possibly can be with Zoom, because that's the platform that we're going to be teaching this on. So I wanted to let people know that we're not going to just throw you into this and expect you to understand it, because I'm still learning it myself. And once we have somebody showing us the way, it's not difficult at all. And I just want to remind people that it's really a simple way to have some fun, to meet some people of like minds, and hopefully learn some tricks of the trade to alleviate those concerns that we may have about falling, and in the end, keep us upright.
Well, it's a great course. I'm familiar with it. I actually went through the coaches training many years ago. And I think it's really important, and particularly now, again, as we look into our environment, we're seeing a lot of the restrictions lifted. We've been pretty much isolated over the past year. We're really unaware that, the atrophy in our muscles and just lack of strength that we have. So this class is really very timely for our members and for the community. So I encourage people they can call the Jocelyn Center at 760-340-3220 and ask for Veronica in the Wellness Center, and she'll get you all signed up for the class. And she's at extension 117.
Exactly. And yes, and the class is filling up. So give us a holler. And we look forward to seeing you. And Jack, thanks so much. It's really it's wonderful being an employee at the Jocelyn Center and being able to impart this information to our members, not only at the Jocelyn Center but across the Coachella Valley. So thank you.
Well, thank you very much, and thank you all for watching the Friday interview with the Jocelyn Variety Show. And we will be back on Monday with Mindful Mondays. Have a great weekend.
Happy Easter. Happy Passover.
Bye.